You may love your dog deeply, but love does not automatically teach us how to understand the language dogs use. A hug, reaching into a food bowl, or yelling when a dog growls can all make some dogs feel stressed. At number 4 in particular, there is one reaction that many people believe will teach a dog to behave better, but when handled the wrong way, it can accidentally silence an important warning signal that comes before a bite. The good news is that all 10 of these habits have simple alternatives. Not every dog reacts the same way. Look at the entire body and the situation. If there is any risk of a bite, put safety first and seek professional support. Number 10. Forcing your dog to accept affection. You come home and immediately want to hug the dog you love. To humans, that is affection. But to a dog, physical contact is only enjoyable when the dog feels safe and has a choice. Not every dog dislikes hugs or being petted on the head. The problem is that we sometimes keep going after the dog wants us to stop. Pay attention if your dog turns its head away, leans away, licks its lips, pins its ears back, or suddenly becomes stiff. One sign alone does not tell the whole story, but several signs appearing together may be a request for more space. Try the 3-second test. Gently pet your dog on the chest, shoulder, or side for 3 seconds, then stop. If your dog moves closer or actively asks for more, you can continue. If your dog turns away, respect that choice. But when a dog is truly afraid, our response can sometimes be the exact opposite of what the dog needs. Number 9. Making entertainment out of your dog. Being afraid. Your dog is afraid of thunder, the vacuum cleaner, or an unfamiliar object. When you see the dog back away or bark, you take out your phone to record it, and may even move the object closer to help the dog get used to it. But forcing a dog to face something before it is ready can make the fear stronger. Dogs often watch the reactions of familiar people in uncertain situations. You do not need to panic or hold your dog tightly. Stay calm and give your dog some distance. Give your dog the option to leave. When the dog can calmly observe from a safe distance, you can reward it with a tasty treat. Do not pull the dog closer or block its way out. If the fear becomes more severe or spreads to other situations, seek professional support. If these first 2 signs have helped you see your dog differently, subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Changing the rules depending on the person or your mood. In the morning, your dog is allowed on the couch. That evening, when guests arrive, the dog gets yelled at for jumping onto the very same couch. One person gives the dog food when it begs. Someone else scolds the dog for standing near the table. Your dog does not understand that the rules changed because you are in a good mood today or because guests are visiting. Dogs learn from what happens after each behavior. When the outcome keeps changing, your dog has a harder time understanding what you want, and training takes longer. Agree on the cue for going to a mat when guests arrive, the rules about getting on the furniture, and the wait cue before opening a door. The same cue, the same gesture, the same behavior gets rewarded. Your dog needs a world that is consistent enough to understand. But the next mistake can turn the very place that should feel safest into a negative signal. Number 7. Using a crate or resting place as punishment. Your dog knocks something over. You yell, push the dog into the crate, and close the door. After this happens several times, the dog may begin to associate that place with anger and isolation. Not every dog naturally enjoys an enclosed space. A crate only becomes a safe place when the dog is introduced to it gradually and it is connected with positive experiences. Place food or a chew inside. Leave the door open so the dog can go in and out on its own. Then increase the amount of time little by little. Do not pull, push, or yell at a dog to make it enter the crate. If your dog pants, scratches at the door, drools, or desperately tries to escape, stop forcing the dog to stay inside and reevaluate your approach. When you need to prevent a behavior, put away the object causing the problem. Use a pet gate or redirect your dog to a behavior it has already learned. A resting place should be somewhere safe, not somewhere the dog is punished. Mealtime should also feel safe, but it is often turned into a test. Number 6. Taking away food or toys to test your dog. Many people put a hand into the food bowl or pull a toy out of the mouth of a dog to prove that they are in control. But if a hand always makes something valuable disappear, the dog may learn to become defensive. This is not the only cause of resource guarding. However, repeatedly taking away important things can make the situation worse. Pay attention if your dog eats faster when someone approaches, covers the bowl, becomes stiff, or stares. Growling, showing teeth, and snapping are clearer warnings. A safer approach is to let your dog eat in peace. When the dog is comfortable, walk past at a safe distance, drop an extra treat into the bowl, and move on. Your presence will begin to signal that something good is being added. With toys, make a trade for a reward of higher value. Wait for your dog to release the toy on its own before picking it up. Do not chase the dog to take it back. If your dog has already become stiff, growled, lunged, or snapped, never put your hand into the bowl, and do not conduct any more tests on your own. Keep children away from the eating area and find a professional who uses positive methods and has experience with resource guarding. But yelling after something has already happened makes it even harder for your dog to understand what to do instead. Number 5. Yelling without teaching an alternative behavior. You come home and find trash scattered across the room. Your dog lowers its body when it hears your angry voice. You think the dog knows it is guilty, but that may simply be a response to your attitude in that moment. Yelling after the fact does not help your dog understand which behavior made you angry, and it does not show the dog what to do next time. Secure the trash can, close the door, or use a pet gate. If you catch the behavior while it is happening, interrupt it calmly. Guide your dog toward an appropriate choice, and reward that choice. Then look for the cause. Is your dog getting too little exercise, able to reach the trash too easily, not yet trained, or having difficulty being alone? Effective discipline is not just saying no. It means making the right choice easy to understand and rewarding enough to repeat. But if the thing you are yelling at is a growl, the risk is much greater. Number 4. Punishing a growl. A child is hugging a dog. The dog turns its head, licks its lips, and then becomes stiff. When those subtle signals do not work, the dog begins to growl. The adult immediately yells at the dog not to growl. Growling is not a behavior that should be encouraged, but it is information. The dog may be afraid, in pain, or asking for more distance. If you only punish the sound without addressing the cause, the emotion underneath is still there. The dog may learn that giving a warning will make the situation worse. A dog that gets yelled at will not necessarily bite. But if the warning is suppressed, the next reaction may seem more sudden. When a dog growls, the first thing to do is stop the interaction and create distance. Do not lean your face close, grab the dog by the neck, or provoke the dog again to test it. Think about what happened just before the growl. Was the dog being hugged, awakened, approached while eating, or touched in a painful area? Prevent that situation from happening again while you look for the cause. If the growling is new or becoming more frequent, have your dog examined by a veterinarian to rule out pain. If there is a risk of a bite, work with an appropriate behavior professional. Do not simply silence the alarm. Find out what made it go off. Many dogs have already spoken softly by turning their head, licking their lips, avoiding contact, or becoming stiff before they have to speak loudly with a growl. Number 3. Ignoring subtle signals. Your dog paces near the door, looks at you, and then looks at the water bowl. The dog avoids a guest or tries to get your attention while you keep looking at your phone. We do not need to respond every time a dog paws at us or barks. But ignoring everything is not the answer either. When your dog tries to communicate, consider the context. Does the dog need to go outside? Are the water, temperature, and resting area comfortable? Is the dog in pain, afraid, or not getting enough exercise? If all of those needs have been met, teach a calm behavior. Instead of rewarding your dog for pawing at your leg, ask the dog to sit or go to its mat. The goal is not to respond to every request. It is to recognize genuine needs and respond clearly. Understanding signals is only half of the story. Dogs also need opportunities to use their bodies and their brains. Number 2. Believing that food and bathroom breaks are enough. A dog spends most of its time at home and only gets a quick walk around the neighborhood in the evening. When the dog barks, chews things, or becomes overly excited, the owner assumes the dog is misbehaving. But sometimes, the dog simply does not have enough appropriate activity. Exercise needs vary by age, health, and individual dog. Even so, Food and bathroom breaks are often not enough for an enriching life. Try the 15-minute formula. Spend 5 minutes walking slowly so your dog can sniff. Spend 5 minutes practicing skills with rewards. Then spend 5 minutes playing tug, searching for food, or using a puzzle toy. This is only a starting point. Adjust it to suit your dog. When your dog is alone, pay attention to prolonged howling, pacing, panting, drooling, damaging doors, or unusual bathroom accidents. Do not punish these behaviors. If possible, record a video so a veterinarian or behavior professional can understand what happens when your dog is alone. And finally, there is one mistake that leads many people to correct what they see as stubbornness when their dog may actually need a health examination. Number 1. Treating a sudden behavior change as stubbornness. A dog that once enjoyed being picked up suddenly growls when touched. A dog that used to run up the stairs now stands at the bottom. The dog may sleep more, eat slowly, avoid interaction, or become irritable. It is easy to label a dog as bad, lazy, or disobedient. Not every change is caused by illness. But a medical problem can appear as a new behavior or the disappearance of an old habit. So if your dog suddenly behaves differently, do not rush to turn it into a battle of wills. Write down when it started, how often it happens, and the circumstances around it. Does the problem appear when the dog is touched, exercising, eating, or alone? If recording does not make your dog feel stressed, take a video and bring that information to your veterinarian. Do not give your dog human pain medication. Some types can be extremely dangerous for dogs. Sometimes, what looks like disobedience is the only way a dog can tell you that something is wrong with its body. You do not need to be a perfect dog owner. Just remember 3 things. Observe before you touch. Give your dog a safe choice. And teach the behavior you want, instead of only punishing the behavior you do not want. If you have done a few of the things on this list, that does not mean you do not love your dog. What matters is that, starting today, you can recognize the signals earlier. Leave a comment with one habit you will change this week. If you want to understand the body language of your dog before the dog has to growl, subscribe to the channel. In the next video, we will explore 7 signs of stress that dog owners often mistake for good behavior.